So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'll be repeating my comments in French at the conclusion of my English remarks. Je vais répéter mes commentaires en français lorsque j'aurai fini ceux que je vais faire en anglais ce matin. My name is Paul Bélanger, and I've been appointed by the government of the province of Ontario as commissioner for the Commission of Inquiry into the collapse of the Algo Centre Mall. And I want to begin this morning by expressing my condolences and that of my colleagues here at the table to those of you who've lost loved ones, cherished friends, or neighbors on the 23rd of June last. Indeed, this tragedy shook all Ontarians and all Canadians. We're concerned about those of you who were injured, as well as those who've been impacted by this collapse, whether it be financial, emotionally, or socially. And it's that tragedy, of course, that brings us here today. Our immediate concern today and tomorrow is not how or why this tragedy occurred. That will come later as our investigation progresses and as we hold public hearings. And I really want to emphasize that fact, that this fact-finding part of the inquiry will occur later when we start collecting documents, when we begin interviewing witnesses, and when we embark upon the public hearings, which we hope will occur early in 2013. And so that is not the purpose of our meeting this morning. What we want to do is introduce ourselves to the community and to hear from you about the consequences, about the impact of these events upon you. Those of you who want to speak publicly about their experience can come up to the microphones here on either side of the room and talk to us. And in addition, those of you who wish to talk to us privately, who don't wish to express themselves in public, will have an opportunity to do so this afternoon and tomorrow. Some of you may have questions today, and we'll try to answer them. We're taking this opportunity to get to know you, as I've said, to get to know Elliot Lake, to tour the site of the collapse, and to speak to responsible groups and individuals such as members of your Chamber of Commerce and your elected politicians, and the lawyers who are with me indeed spent the day yesterday speaking with some of your representatives. Now, let me explain to you what a commission of inquiry is and what it is not. A public inquiry investigates and reports on matters of substantial public interest to a community. A public inquiry is not a trial. I'm a criminal court judge. I've been doing trials for 34 years. This is not a trial. No one is charged in this inquiry with any criminal offense, and no one is being sued in the commission process. As commissioner, I have no right to find anyone guilty of a criminal offense, nor can I establish civil responsibility for damages. Inquiries tend to be broader than either criminal or civil trials, and as a rule, while they investigate past events, they also tend to be concerned with providing an explanation of what happened so as to assist in preventing similar events in the future. We can't change the past, but perhaps with your assistance and your collaboration, we can make sure that this type of tragedy doesn't occur again. But I want to emphasize that there are no legal consequences from the Commissioner's findings. This distinction can really be frustrating for members of the public who want to see perceived wrongdoers penalized. Punishment and penalty may well follow the work that we will be doing here, but it is not part of the inquiry itself. A public inquiry also needs to be public and available to the public, and I'm committed to having open and public hearings. This is why we're here today and why our public hearings will be held here in Elliot Lake. For the convenience of some parties, certain parts of the hearings, such as applications for standing and funding, these occur before the actual public hearings. They may have to be off-site, or they perhaps can be done through modern technology at a distance. We'll be making efforts, however, to have all proceedings broadcast live. And we're exploring means to, as I say, have those hearings broadcast so that even if you can't attend in person as you have this morning, you could watch it on television. And at the hearings, we'll be setting up a media room so that interested journalists can accurately report on what has gone on. One of our council has been designated as our media spokesperson to give timely explanations to the media about the Commission and to make materials accessible as soon as possible to them. We've already set up a website. Some of you may have accessed it. It's at www.elliotlakeinquiry.ca, all in one word. And we'll be making efforts to ensure that it is always up to date so that everybody can follow. And I invite as many of you as possible to attend our hearings when they commence in the new year, or to follow us on television. But our intent is that you always be informed and up to date on what it is that we're doing. I also want to emphasize this morning that these initial meetings that we're going to have with you this afternoon, this morning, and tomorrow will not constitute evidence at the inquiry. And for the sake of transparency and fairness, the private meetings will be audio recorded in an anonymous way so that speakers are not identified. They'll be confidential, and they won't be released to anyone unless it is on direct order from me, and only if it is shown to be in the public interest. And in addition, if you prefer that there be no recording, we won't record. It's as simple as that. And I repeat and emphasize that the purpose of this informal meeting this morning is to allow us to appreciate what you're living and what you've lived through. Let me introduce to you those who are here this morning. Commission counsel play a vital and critical role in any public inquiry. They are the legal arm of the inquiry, and essentially I'm their client, and I'm their only client. Their main responsibility, the responsibility I've given them, is to represent the public interest at the inquiry. They don't represent a particular point of view, as they might if we were in court litigating a criminal or a civil case. They are not prosecutors. Their role is not adversarial, nor do they take one side or the other. They have a duty to make sure that all issues bearing on the public interest are brought to my attention. And their job is to use their skills and experience to present all of the available relevant evidence in as fair and thorough fashion as possible. To my immediate left here is Mr. Peter Doody, a highly experienced litigator in public, administrative, and commercial law. On my immediate right is Mark Wallace, who has been a criminal lawyer for many, many years, a criminal law specialist, and a recognized expert in his field. And then Nadia Effendi, to my further right, is fluently bilingual. She is a gold medal graduate of the University of Ottawa and a specialist in civil and public litigation. And finally, Mr. Bruce Carr-Harris, on my far right, who will be the spokesperson for the Commission this morning and will respond to your questions. He's a recognized expert in construction litigation, among other specialties. He's also a highly decorated member of the Law Society of Upper Canada. I don't know where Peter Rehak is at the moment. He's just standing up over there. He's our media consultant, and you will have met him before meeting any of us. He's already spent time here in Elliot Lake in the last few weeks, setting things up. Peter has acted as media consultant for virtually all commissions of inquiry in Ontario over the past dozen years, and we're grateful to have a man with his wealth of journalistic experience and wisdom as part of our team. You'll find all of our biographies, those of you who are interested, on the website. Let me conclude by saying that public commissions of inquiry are an important component of a mature and democratic society such as ours. They play a key role in fact-finding, informing the public, and making recommendations to ensure that the matter that is the subject matter of the inquiry does not occur again. They may also play a role in restoring public confidence in government institutions. Above all, if they are to be effective and receive cooperation, commissions must be perceived as being completely fair to everybody. That will be one of this Commission's overriding objectives. In addition, of course, we want to be thorough, we want to be efficient, accessible, and because we're spending government money, your money, we want to be cost effective. So you're going to be seeing a lot of us over the next year. Our investigators some of them are already here. You may not have seen them, but they're unobtrusive. But there will be more coming in so that we can begin obtaining information, the information we need to identify persons we need to speak to. And all I can really ask from all of you, ladies and gentlemen, is your cooperation, your patience, your understanding, and your assistance. But all three of my council have at least 3 separate experiences with commissions of inquiry in the past. And so they know and have developed an expertise in that process.